back to the WODprep podcast. I'm your host, CJ DePalma, with the better host, Claire Bays. Good morning.
Yeah, what was it that J.Y. was saying yesterday about that?
He said he's the best host, and I was like, well, I mean, he technically is the first. He was on the first show that we did.
This
So,
is true.
but
And
other than
he's good, but throwing
that,
shade.
he's JY for sure. I don't know. He's
Yes.
something. Good morning, Braden. So Claire was just telling me about losing her voice. What I was saying, walk it back, but my go-to when I lose my voice is the medicine ball from Starbucks.
Yeah.
Dude, it's my go-to. But like
Yeah.
use the real honey. Don't let them use like their packet honey and like lemonade, and then whatever it's mint tea. I think I don't know
Yeah.
whatever it is. That's my go-to.
They actually two of the people did have that the final day. And I literally like I've been saying ever since I've been emceeing. So I'm sorry guys, my voice is just rough. It just is what it is. But and thankfully it didn't go until the event was over. So I did, like voice was not lost until literally yesterday. But yeah, as soon as that was happening in real time, I definitely was like, oh, I've always been saying like, oh, I never have any issue because I don't bring cough drops, I don't do anything. And then the final day, the audio, and so there was just some things that I was navigating that I was like, oh gosh, we are digging a grave for my voice right now. And it didn't happen until the final day.
I just turned your mic up through StreamYard so you don't have to like I turned it up.
Okay.
Through StreamYard so you don't have to overstrain.
Cool. Well, it may get better as we go on because this is the first speaking I'm doing today. So we'll see.
Nice.
But
do you do vocal warm-ups? What is it?
No.
How now, brown cow? How now, brown cow? Unique New York. Isn't that what it is? Isn't that what they do?
I have no idea. No. And that's like one of the funny things is like I did not, there was no, I'm going to do this role, so like this was the first time where this has happened, and it wasn't until the very last day. And I knew in real time that it was happening. Audio was very high, and my microphone in particular, I was just having a bit of a hard time with the, like, I don't know what the production company, I'm not sure. Anyway.
Was your mic just low?
Yes.
You were low and you had to yell?
Correct.
So how did you know? So usually when you're on the mic, you can't really tell how loud you are relative to the speakers, at least, or can you?
I can, yeah.
Oh, you can. And so you were trying to just like match your counterpart on the floor.
Yeah, I definitely was just trying to like overcome the music. And so mind you, this is a 3-day competition.
Okay.
And this was a non-issue until literally, and it's perfectly fine. And I've already like talked to, like it won't continue, like we'll get it taken care of. But either way, it was the first time I've had that happen. And so me trying to get it remedied in real time, thank goodness it wasn't until the final day. And it's all perfect. Like I had an amazing time, but definitely the final day, I was like, oh shoot, okay, we're really having a hard time with getting me heard. And so I had to work on that. But that also then caused me to be like, okay, and this can't happen. So I'm definitely having conversations with the MCs about like, what are all the things that you do? Because I have yet to have needed to do any of them. But I want to do whatever preparatory work I can do to not have this occur. So, and some of it really was like, I just was projecting really hard that last day in the morning time. And I was like, this is a problem. So anyway, it all worked out.
Nice. Cool.
Yep.
All right. So you got to SoCal. Where did you stay? Did they stay like right on site, basically, like right across the street? Did Wodapalooza have like a really close venue for all of the staff?
Right across the street? No, but nearby, yes. And it was for all the staff. Yeah. So there was somewhere that was nearby, and there was logistics. I mean, that was like the most well-oiled machine. And I had heard that. So that's what I was like telling them. I was like, the truth is I came in with like high expectations because of what I've been told, and they were exceeded. And so, yeah, it was like, there was never a question of what happens next for you. Like you always knew where you needed to be, when you needed to be there, what the game plan was. It was very, very clear communication the whole time, very thoroughly planned. But yeah, so that there were a couple different hotels for a couple different people, and the staff one was nearby.
So how many MCs were there?
2 on the gauntlet stage, 2 I was paired with, which was so cool. Chris Yanove, do you know him?
I don't know. I'll pull him up on Instagram.
You have to. He's definitely not like a big Instagram guy. He's on there, but he's not a big Instagram guy. But he has done Wadapalooza for 11 years.
How do you spell his last name?
I am pulling up his account. Genove. I feel like because he's Florida based, you have to know him.
Probably. Let's see.
Yeah. I think you have to.
I think so. I mean, we probably cross paths. Yes, I have. I know who he is.
Yeah. Yeah. And so he's been around forever. And like I said, he's done Wadapalooza for 11 years. So anyway, I got partnered with him, and then Gabe and Miranda, which I've worked with Gabe. I've not worked with Miranda before, but they were on the other floor, and we would rotate back and forth days. And then of course, for the actual tier cup, there was Kiki and Joshy G and Mike, who was the lead of the whole group. So
cool.
This really is still awful. I'm so sorry about this. It's not a cute look.
It's all right. It's fine. Well, you can't technically see it. Thus, I don't think it qualifies as a cute look.
It's not a cute sound. But Chris, I was really, really excited to get to work with him because he's been around for so long. And he was, I mean, the thing is, people in those roles, like when they do those, like it is long days. It is for the love of the game. And so working alongside people that's them is really, it's just super cool. And so, yeah, it was cool to work alongside him for sure.
Does so when you're an MC on the floor with them, like is it sort of like broadcast too, where there's like color, or are you guys doing the same role back and forth? Like what does that look like? Like what was Chris's role? Like, like did you guys have a game? I assume you had a game plan going into every like chunk of stuff. You talk about the flow or anything. So walk me through that. What does it look like? Like, is it sort of like Sean and Chase where there's like color commentating and like you're expert, and so like what tell me how that goes.
Yeah, this is a funny question because I think it's relatable for many roles. Being that like, so for DJs, you don't think about them unless they're doing a bad job. MCs, you're not thinking about what they're doing unless they're noticeably doing a bad job. You know what I mean? Like maybe you're thinking about the DJ, like, well, I like this, but you're not thinking about them. The same for so many roles, right? And so like we have been listening to these events for so many years. We have heard MCs over and over and over again. And we don't like think about any of those things unless we're like, what was that?
Well, I think I'll push back. I think it's like a bell curve. Like you don't think about it like in the middle, and then you realize when someone is fucking crushing it.
Yes.
And you're like, holy shit, this dude is hyping me the fuck up. And then you realize
so true.
And then you think of someone who's like, wow, this is terrible. Like they're not doing anything, and like just turn the music up and shut them up. You know what I mean? Like
totally.
So I think there's but I feel like there certainly is a point where you're like, oh, this guy's got like to be fair, like the best one, and I think it's just because the atmosphere, like Dylan at Beach Brawl has just always been like it's for sure like elevated it. And I don't know if it's just because it's the atmosphere, right? And or whatever it is, maybe just because you can hear him over the like all 4 floors, right? Like you can usually hear one person that's the loudest over all the floors. But that's what I've always been like. He elevates it very specifically, you know, or has in the past.
Yes. Yeah, and it definitely does make a difference. And it is funny, I will say, I had been told this and had not experienced it as well. Chris sounds like Dylan.
Yeah.
You walk past
I always forget because I always heard him on the Gauntlet floor, like when he was down in Wadapalooza. Like I always just like you can hear him on the broadcast.
Yeah.
You know, when years I haven't come, I always thought it was Dylan. I was like, Dylan's not doing that. I was
right. Yeah. And that's literally like some of the like core team would literally like she was telling me yesterday, but like she'd be like walk by and be like, why is Dylan on the floor? And then be like, oh, it's Chris,
Yeah.
So it was like freaky how much that was true. But anyway, I mean, as far as for the fact that these days, the event starts at 8 and you finish around 8:30, right? So for our role. And so for preservation purposes, you rotate back and forth for much of the day. And then for some of it, you wind up both being on the floor at the same time. And so it, obviously when you're the one out there, you're doing you're doing all the different things
Right.
versus whenever, and the flow changes per partnership, right? So like certain people have different things that they enjoy doing more and so on, but it's definitely like a tennis match or something like that, like you are bouncing the ball back and forth. And so, yeah, it flows, I think, pretty naturally. It kind of needs to. And you can definitely maybe voice in advance things that you have. I will say it was the final day, right at the very end. Joshy G, do you know who he is?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And so he does the games, does a bunch of different stuff. He's been around for a long time. And so he just like hopped out on the floor with me randomly for 2 heats and was all color, right? Cause like I have the workout, I've been doing it all day. He has no idea, and it was super fun. And it was really fun because it was like somebody just jumped on the floor to play chess, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And so it was a fun challenge and it was, it was really cool.
Cool.
Yep.
So in your role, do you feel like you play by play more or do you color commentate more?
Yeah, I'm definitely up to this point, very play by play. That is my prominent thing. Like
Sure.
what you will get from me is you will know what's happening
And so
more than anything.
when you are like getting a job, you're like, hey, this is where I excel. Like
Absolutely.
this is like where I'm gonna lean. Is this what you want? Is that like the conversation you have with them?
Yeah, the conversation is typically from me, like what, for you as the event owner, whoever it is that's doing the hire, what to you deems my role a success, right?
Sure.
Like, what do you like to hear the most? And then also, there is some uniqueness to different events. Some of them want more color, some of them want less, and so trying to get a feel for what they are seeking is helpful to me. And then, of course, if they are really heavy on, which that I have yet to have that occur, right? But like, if they're like, we just want color, then I'm like, I would not be your girl at this point. But I will say this was also a wonderful opportunity. So one of the days we had the beach event, and the beach event included 3 800-meter runs for individuals. It included a 1,600-meter run for pairs. I think it was, anyway, a lot of events. But bottom line is you had some chunks of time where it is you, the fans, that's it.
Yeah.
And so that was a beautiful opportunity for me to have to like, oh, what are you going to do with this time? And
Right.
because I had to lean more into, there's no updates to give you. They're out. We all know they're out. They're going to be out there because it's a beach run for 10 minutes or more, And so, and that was excellent experience for me to have to do and lean into that, like, hey, engage with the crowd. And that's something that I would say in my earlier reps so far haven't done as much of, and there was a ton more of that there, and that was really, really good for me.
Cool. And so what did you do? Like what did that look like? Were you
Yeah.
like, let's do the wave, or like, what's your favorite workout? Like how cheesy? Because you had to be a little cheesy at some points, but like where'd you fall? Like what was the go-to?
I mean, I didn't always repeat the same things heat to heat, whereas like, of course, for like calling the heat, the action, you say the same stuff every time.
Yeah, but it's different people, so it's not the same.
Yeah, no. And so it really would be just based on, thankfully, they were really interactive as well. And so people would want to talk. And so they'd literally come right up and like grab my attention. And so then we would just banter, and I'd banter into the microphone as it was appropriate.
Cool.
And so there was some of that. And then I would, ask things simply like, which team, are you team North America? Are you team world? And and they would share which direction, or I would ask how many, is this their first year at SoCal? Is this their second year at SoCal? Are they coming back next year? And then if you didn't say yes, like you're lying, like I would just joke around. And so it was fun because it became a lot more playful, and that's a good thing for me. So, and I mean, I guess that's from my perspective. Of course, I'll, if feedback says otherwise, then I'll know. But thankfully, feedback, at least from the people that were on the floors with me, and that was another thing, is the judges that were with me all weekend. The equipment team, like they did the same floors as me. We rotated, so they got so much of me. But thankfully, and Chris, feedback was really positive from a number of different directions. So I'm hopeful that it was for everybody, right? But that was good, because as we were doing the color, that was when people were doing that bit on the beach that day. That's whenever a number of team members were coming up and being really complimentary, which was that's a good thing. You definitely want that over the opposite, right?
Sure.
Yeah.
Cool. I don't know who this is. Who's Avera? You know who this is? I assume this was. I assume I know his voice. I used to watch 90s wrestling, so I just don't know names.
I don't know who this is either.
I think this is like the main guy from the mid 90s of like wrestling that would call wrestling. Yeah, he was inducted in 96 or 2006.
Oh, that's awesome. I will say, Vera, I've got a fun story. Jim Ross, you know that name, right?
I don't. Jim Ross?
Jim Ross, yeah. He was a commentator for the WWE for, back before it was WWE. He's been around forever.
Okay.
Vera, you know who that is, right?
Probably. If you know,
Um,
this makes it sound more familiar.
Tea and honey, dear. Yeah, guys, I know. I'm sorry. I agree with you, and it's the first time this has happened, and
This is how Claire always is. Claire's always Claire only has one gear overall, and it's just like
go.
the jovial,
Yeah. And that was a funny thing the final day, how I was actually like, when I came off the floor, I was like trying to stop talking for the first time ever. I was like, shut up, which was really hard to do. And I was like trying to hide behind the DJ booth to do it. And it was really hard. Anyway, Jim Ross, well, I guess he doesn't know, so it doesn't matter. I just know him personally. I literally, like, whenever I was selling real estate back in Oklahoma, I like went and gave him, an estimate on the value of his home and stuff like that. It's funny. And I didn't know anything about wrestling versus like meeting Jimmy and learning about it. And Jimmy's like, "You're kidding me." And I'm like, "Yeah, I like saw all of the memorabilia,
That's cool.
Yeah.
His face looks familiar.
Jim Ross, yeah. Anyway, okay, so I feel like this has turned into an interview, which is like your least favorite thing to do.
No, I enjoy it. I actually really like it. I enjoy interviewing people. Yeah, I just like to talk too, but I mean, it's cool. I don't mind.
I wish Judy was here this morning. She mentioned that like the guy that I posted on my story yesterday, and it was on the Wadapalooza page, the gentleman Eddie Guerra, I think, that, did you see that? Oh gosh, I think it's worth pulling up.
All right. Is it on Wadapalooza's page?
Yes, it is.
All right. You'll learn how to pull up stuff eventually.
Oh, this is my friend Wes. What's good? I've known him forever. Oh my gosh, that's awesome.
Coffee drinks Claire. So
yeah.
From an energy perspective.
When it wakes up in the morning.
Yeah. Claire is like, what is it? Chuck Norris.
Wait, what is that?
That's what everyone says. It's like when Chuck Norris does a push-up, the world goes down. He doesn't go up.
Oh,
that's like where all that came from.
That's iconic.
All right. Share screen. Here you go. What am I looking for?
Gentleman left.
This guy?
Yep. And this is going to get your feels. So, like, sorry, we're going to take a turn.
She was supposed to be here with me.
Start it again.
Home. I haven't worked out since her.
Sorry.
It's fine.
My wife passed away August the 25th of this year. She was supposed to be here with me. I almost didn't come. I haven't worked out since her passing. I'm so thankful for this community and these people who have cheered for me that don't even know each other. It's a blessing to be here. Man, it means everything to me. We're married for 18 years and we have 4 kids. And she was definitely the best part of me, other than my relationship with Jesus. To know that she's not here physically, but she's here spiritually and looking down in heaven, man. It's an honor. It's an honor to still call myself her husband. And it's an honor to be able to work out with some of these great men and great women and just work on our fitness together, And if there's anything I can do for anybody else struggling, please reach out to me. I would love to connect. I'd love to pray for you. I'd love to be a part of your journey. I've had a lot of church family and fitness family and friends that have supported me through this. And I would love to be that person that supports you through it too. My wife passed away.
That's woof.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
I don't do well with I used to, like, I
know you've said you don't like that stuff.
Yeah.
Well, the way that it makes you feel.
Yeah. Well, it's just like being a parent. I've lost a lot of really close people in my life, like really early. Like I had like multiple friends die in high school from car wrecks and multiple suicides, like that were really close to me. Early family loss, and so death didn't used to bother me, just because I was kind of numb to it. Like, I mean, my freshman year of high school, we lost like 4 friends, like in our group, in different time, like 3 separate occasions.
Yeah, that's not normal.
And right when college started, I had like 2 super close suicides. And so death usually does bother me, but I think after having Bennett, it was just like, it just hits just so different, you know,
Yeah.
like even before Bennett, you know, it wasn't a problem. And I lost my dad really young too. And so it just wasn't, but now it's like, ugh, I don't know. And it's not even, it's like not my fear of it, unfortunately, because I've sort of had to like start to have those conversations.
Yeah, come face to face with that.
And so it's like losing Perrin or losing Bennett. Like it just like, unfortunately, like it crosses my mind all the time, like how terrible it would be. But that's crazy. What a crazy story. Did it talk about anything like how his wife passed away?
No. And so that's what Judy was actually, she's usually here, but I don't see her.
Yeah.
But she was just saying that she was like wanting, if we were talking about the interview thing, and she was like mentioning that he would be a great one to interview. Right. And I guess she kicked it over to another platform. And I was like, oh man, I would love to have that conversation, you know? But you know, it was crazy because obviously those signs, I was interacting with those fans, you know, and
Sure.
There were many stories where I would, over the course of the weekend, the 3 days, I'd learn more about them on the floor. And that was super fun. And that one I had no idea about. So, right, I called this guy's name all weekend and then seeing that, and I'm just like, just whopped with it, you know, and the fact that I'm interacting with the fans with the signs, not realizing that like what these people are coming in with. And then also, of course, you know, prayers for his family and everything as they heal. And then also just like, these are the kind, like this event, like these are the kind of people that I want to be associated with in any capacity, you know, people who he just went through something unfathomable. I won't pretend to understand anything about that. And yet he's out there doing this, competing, and using his voice to say, anyone who's struggling, I want to connect with you. I want to support you, you know? So.
Yeah. What a guy. I mean, that's nuts.
Oh, and yeah, I did. She said she always watches. And so I was like, okay, are you in the comments? She was like, no. And I was like, let's fix that. It's good to see you here, Ann.
Yeah, man, what a crazy story. Oh,
Yeah.
he lives in Louisiana, so he's not even far from me.
Yeah.
That's nuts.
There are just so many stories you don't know about. It was also really cool.
For sure.
In the couple, like the co-ed pairs divisions, you had, of course, couples, and one of them was called Accidentally in Love, and they literally met at WODapalooza last year. And there they were competing together all weekend, and it was like really fun to watch them. And so we started to continue to like bring that up on the floor, and she would get super bashful and like, you know, hide her face and everything. And whereas he was like, more, you know, it was so funny. So it was cute.
Avera making a hard switch. If anyone is vulnerable to crack or addiction, stay away from Fairlife chocolate milk. 100% the reason why I don't drink it is because every time it came into the house, like it didn't make it a day. Like when I was like training hard and I was like, oh, this is great recovery. And I drink a whole half gallon every day. Like every time it came in the house, it wouldn't last 24 hours. I agree. Totally different subject, but I
got nothing on that. I don't know.
You're not a milk consumer. I guess assume not. You ever been?
I'm not. I consume dairy products. I'm just a ingredient psycho, which was interesting because I was like, there were also Chris and Miranda, the other MCs. They're also very, very attentive to ingredients, and I was like, so impressed.
Supposed to be the better version?
I don't know. That's what I'm just like. I don't know a thing about it. I make assumptions that things that have an ingredient list are often including something bad, but I don't know. That one might be fine.
Okay. All right. So
yeah, we can get into. I will say. So I met Jenna Haka.
Nice. Tell me about it.
It was way too brief. That's about all I got. I was like running in for something. And yeah, I do want to address that question. But yeah, anyway, we got to stop and talk for a little bit, and she was kind of asking for some context on the show as far as like what, you know, and she was just simply saying that she was complimenting it and enjoys this, which was so freaking cool. And meanwhile, I was just like fangirling, and it was too brief. So anyway, yeah. Because I had to run. So we talked as long as we could. And then I was like, I have to go. But it was super cool to meet her for sure.
Jenna is the head of media for CrossFit.
Yep.
what's her title? CMO?
Mhm.
Media officer. I think so.
I think
she
so.
has
Media marketing.
marketing officer. Yeah, something like that. It's a chief. It's a chief position. So I mean, she's top dog. Savior CrossFit. That's right. I mean, so this is an interesting thing, right?
And we have to remember there's a whole team here.
Yeah.
You know?
So, but something has flipped. Whether it's ownership not caring about their, what me and Claire for sure believe, flawed view of how they need to be perceived by the public, right? Which is basically what's been happened for the entire. So if you listen to, obviously everyone here listens to Savon, and like there's just been points in repetition of like, oh, let's get this thing posted, right? Whatever it is, an Instagram post, a YouTube video, and it would take 8, 10, 15 reviews and edits, and it would take months to get it posted. Like he's talked about that multiple times over the years. And so they kind of went into this thing. Something has changed, right? We know the marketing has changed, and the amount of media coming out and the quality of media coming out, at least how we view the quality, right? I mean, there was a point there where there's basically no media coming out at all, right? I mean, they had million follower pages, and they were putting up something once a month. And then the one thing they would put up was for sure a recycled video that just like was in the archive somewhere that they just pulled out and dropped in, right? And, you know, whether that was whatever those two that were in charge, the couple, I can't even think of their name.
Are you talking about the previous pair that got canned?
Jenna was still in charge, but they were still sort of like, it was like started the transition, whatever. It was the girl and the guy. I can't think of it.
Where's CrossFit when you need him? Right this minute, I'm not coming up with it, but whatever, I know who you're referring to.
It was clear that like they were hired inappropriately, out of their realm, not prepared for it, no experience. And so whatever it was, right? So is Jenna the savior? I don't know, but she's for sure part of the new direction.
An integral role.
Yeah. And, you know, if she's the head of media and we all love the media coming out, like in Dave agreeing to 26.3 at Wadapalooza, that's
huge.
Media. That's media at its like, I mean, most foundational level, right? And so so we're just going to lean into Jenna, right? Because Dave is still there. She's the only new face and the only like sort of like thing we can attach to change, because we don't know who else is behind the scenes. Not really, right? Or at least not anyone new in direction. And so someone, right? But
and that's where it's like, it's the face, right? Because at the end of the day, there's obviously a lot of people involved, but I definitely think that, you know, and in some other conversations that I got to have with other people who are involved in some way over the course of the weekend. And that was another really cool thing, is how many people I got to interact with that are involved, whether it's, you know, with HQ and different things like that, have been around for a long time. With the media bit, to me, you've got Jenna, who, this is my opinion from what I've observed up to this point, loves CrossFit, like loves it. And who's actually relatively new to CrossFit too. Correct. Yes. Yeah. I think so. And
I mean, she's certainly not an OG. Like she's not an early 13 or like teens 2010er for sure.
Yeah. Which is then great, because that perspective is beautiful to have, because we have plenty of us, right, that have been around for freaking ever, that have strong opinions and you know, but when I say she loves CrossFit, the methodology, like loves the methodology. And I believe in messaging, et cetera, we need that, right? So when you had those other people involved, whatever, if we're confused about what we are, then, and what we do, or we want it to be palatable for everyone, congratulations, no one cares, you know? Anyway, that was the season that we went through. And so going into this season, and then I will say, this is not that, but the video that they just posted, I don't know, maybe yesterday, I'm not sure, but like of Jason Hopper at the games doing a squat clean, I believe, right? And
the standard video.
Correct. Yeah. And I just thought, you know, how beautifully done. I don't think I've ever seen anything like that from them, where, you know, yes, we have seen movement demo videos and so on, but they're typically in a very sterile environment, et cetera, which is fine. There's a place for that. But this was totally unique and engaging. And if you think about social media and what actually gets people's attention, it needs to be super dynamic. There needs to be a lot of movement, the way that the words appeared on the screen, et cetera. Like that approach, I love it. what's the harm in trying new and different things, right?
Sure.
When it comes to how we get it out there, like while we still want to convey the methodology as it is. I loved seeing that because it is more engaging. It will get more attention outside of our world. And that's what Avera is saying. My problem is that it only reaches those that attach to the community and methodology. But like something like that is going to reach further because it's like people are like, what? And then all of a sudden there's all these words on there, and it at least maybe create some curiosity, awareness for people who weren't already aware.
I agree. And to kind of capitalize or like to follow up on that, it will reach. But even if it doesn't, right now it's about motivating our current cohort more. I think that's way more important than trying to bring more people in. It's about reinvigorating and relighting the fire of everyone that's here, right? Like the 26.3 post could be single-handedly the most unilaterally positive post CrossFit has made in fucking years. Like even the no shortcuts post. Some people didn't like the fuck, like using fuck as part of a slogan, which I don't care. I love it. I think it's extremely appropriate.
Yeah.
But I'm certainly not who they're trying. Like, I'm not the person they're trying to market to. And so the 26.3 post with Dave, which we'll pull up in a second. And
I was going to say, actually, I was there. So like, show me what you're talking about. Let me make sure I've seen this. Because I would agree. I definitely wanted to bring up the fact that was there and like what that means for, while you're pulling it up, I'll just say like, to me, having this, sorry guys, it's coming around a little bit better, but season structure for next year already announced. And then something like this, this is huge. And so I'm hopeful that these are signs that whatever is happening on an ownership level plans to retain this thing that we all love so much,
well, it has
and potentially
to be, right?
build it. Right. And that's a beautiful sign.
Yeah. Like me and John, we were talking about it yesterday, and it's like, no one knows. And, like a lot of people say they don't know when a lot of people end up knowing, but I don't think anyone actually does know. I felt like it was just smoke and mirrors for a long time, but I think there really is a very either like deep hidden ownership switch happening, or it's just going to happen and no one's going to know. And it's just going to keep operating as like, but like there's a lot of work going into this. And so whoever is on the other side of this ownership wise, they have to be into say, hey, like, are we still moving forward with it? You know what I mean? Like the team is putting a lot of money into, like, there's a lot more money going into all of this stuff right now. And so, which is what hasn't happened in years, which means that the prospective buyers are most likely very on board with the money leaving the company aggressively. You know what I mean? Like I would think.
Yeah. Well, and so on the CrossFit podcast, Denise, the host, she recently said something, and I'm going to paraphrase, but to the effect of, and being a seminar staff member and being around for a long time, she's got deep roots here too. And she just basically said that everybody's kind of in the agreement sentiment that although they don't know all the details, and they truly don't, is what, what they're saying, they have no idea, right? At their level. And they're simply just saying, and yet we have to do the best that we can with what we have. We have to do the best job that we can with what we have. And so we're just going to continue. And so there is some level of like, maybe the team still doesn't know. And it's just like, we are going to continue to do everything we possibly can to build this thing, and then hope that whatever change takes place, that we get to retain it and continue to build it, et cetera. But yet again, those are just like assumptions, and I don't know.
All right. Hey, you haven't seen this video yet?
I don't think I've seen it in full. No.
Okay. All right.
26.3.
I always love Dave's like hand mannerisms. Like when he does all of this, like it's always like he was like, you practice that so much, which I always appreciate.
Oh man.
Will be announced live in Miami at Wadapalooza.
Like full fucking CrossFit boner.
Oh yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah, excellent.
So immediately.
Good morning, Clydesdale. Sorry.
Good morning. Yeah. Good morning. Good morning. Immediately I was 10 times more excited with the caption than I was the actual post. And because you knew that it ended up like, you knew that they were going to have to do it there at some capacity, right? For the athletes. But what I was more excited about was it said the fans can do it. And I was like, they have to be able to let the fans do it.
Yeah.
That's the only way Wodapalooza will be a success in March. And now just assume 10,000 people go to Wodapalooza, right? Miami, just it's arbitrary number. Could be way less than that. It probably is way less than that. But that number for sure was going to be reduced by 20 to 30% because it was during the open.
Mm-hmm.
And people weren't going to be able to go, in my opinion, right? It already is a challenge to be on the beach, so the locals don't do it, etc. You know, all of that jazz of being on Miami Beach and whatever. But now that it's announced there, that 10,000, I think grows. And I think their participation and their spectator number gets a lot bigger. Oh, what? I can do my last open like on the gauntlet floor, because that's what they're going to do. Like it's going to be, that's like has to be in some capacity. And that's going to be awesome.
Yeah, I'm just stoked in general. And I think it's like the fact that Dave went to Wodapalooza SoCal, tier Wodapalooza SoCal, and it was the very first time that he's ever gone. That's kind of wild to me. And then it's also like, that's another exciting sign of, you know, doing that and then saying that there's going to be in-person qualifiers for age groups and things like that. More collaboration with these events, which is so exciting because we love these events so much. And like each one of them exists as an opportunity for us to experience it, you know? And so even if you can't make it to the games for whatever reason, it doesn't work on your schedule, it's too far away, whatever, the more of these things that we can have taking place all over the world. Like, and so the idea that headquarters is going to play ball with them more, which is what this is a signal to, we all win.
Oh yeah, for sure. And so Vicky's question, you know, do you think releasing the schedule announcements, air guard, blah, 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 is a jab at WFP? So I think very much similar to golf, and the fact that I don't think they care, but I do think
I don't think they care either.
But I do think WFP, very similar to how Liv influenced the PGA to make some changes, not directly, but sort of indirect, like, oh, they're sort of doing some of this different thing. I think it's okay for us to do some different things, like not just like, oh, we have to do it in response, but more of like it like sort of release the guard, you know what I mean? Like the high guard that they've had for so long to like be in their own bubble and not play ball. Cause like of all the events, CrossFit has never played ball with Wodapalooza ever. Like it has been
a wild thought.
Crazy. I think early on they did. And then when Wodapalooza, like when Wodapalooza got the Reebok sponsorship, like it got huge. And I think there was this like, I don't know. There was always something there, right? Like you could hear Dylan in like when they brought all the people to do all of the combo programming back in whatever 2017, I think CrossFit felt a little threatened of like being a big competition and things like that, and how much money that competition makes. And so, you know, not that that's like an appropriate response, but there was always this like weird tension. You know, I know they did the announcement there that one year, and then after that, it was kind of like, that was it. And so, yeah, this is also the other craziest thing. Like, Dave never goes to big events. I'm like, dude, just go to the event, go watch. It's fine. Like,
well, he has been. He was at NorCal. He went to this one. I think he went to Syndicate. Like, if you look at this calendar year, he's been showing up to age group games, to BCS, same weekend.
Yeah. And so I think there's probably an influence. I think the ball was already rolling, right? You know, and so, you know, it can't say it didn't have an influence at all, right?
Sure.
But I mean, the media, especially for the media ball, right? Like all of the things that have happened in theory, looking at it, are like, okay, this all makes sense based on the new direction that we see from CrossFit media, right? More stuff, early announcements are a totally new thing. That's never happened in CrossFit fucking 20 years, right? So, but like it makes sense, right? Because we're just trying to get more hype, right? In a very,
Totally.
oh, we're not getting hype outside. I don't care. There's 250,000 people signed up for the Open, or however many there was. We've been up to 400,000. There's actively 8 to 10 million CrossFitters on the planet, right? Like, and so we don't need to reach out. We just need to fucking hype up the 8 to 10 million that's in here right now.
Yeah.
Right?
Well, and I will say too, I can think of certain specific people that, were at Wadapalooza that have been around for a long time and have not signed up for the Open in years.
Right.
And so like, this is I'm so excited to see what Open sign up, Open registration looks like, because for whatever reason, some of those individuals signed up at one time. And then at least in the last couple of years, if not for many years, have not. And maybe hopefully all of this creates some desire to participate at that level.
Well, for sure. Yeah. Like they say, reignite the base. I don't care if we reach out, because the way that we reached out before, like we had the road to the games, but we'll never have that kind of virality with those specific things again. The games overview video, I think that can sort of like the whatever, like the redeemed and dominant and like the fittest man alive, like those videos.
What did you say that we'll never?
I just don't think I don't think we'll have like that kind of like peak reach, and not just like total reach, because I think there's so many more platforms and things like that, but like almost this like crazy virality. I think they'll be big, right? But like, leading iTunes and things like that, or downloads. I just don't think I don't see us getting to that point, like from like how many new people would watch like the fittest man alive that weren't doing CrossFit, right? But I also think
I don't agree with that.
All right, tell me about it.
It's pretty straightforward. I just like don't think that like thinking that ship has sailed and that it's never going to be able to get to a place, whether it's number of eyeball or whatever. There's just if you look at the world out there, if we play our cards right, consistently, actually it could be way freaking bigger.
Yeah. Okay. All right. I don't know. There was just like a different feel. Like you just look at the road to the games, right? Like the road.
But I think that's your nostalgia talking. And yes, it was a different feel than it is today.
I mean,
but you can have a new experience.
But some of those videos had 1 million views.
Okay.
Our road to the games this year had 80,000. I'm not saying they didn't do well, but like I just felt like I don't know if it was just like the person in and of itself, right? Like, and I think there's also this point of like there's so much more media happening within camps and things like that too, that road to the games was the only time you got to see Rich Froning train in 2013 or 14. You know what I mean?
So single source, sure. Single source.
Yeah, like
whatever,
just like a single, just like the single source video. And we also haven't had, I don't know, that in it as a like the games documentary. It's just been a while. 23 was kind of boring. You know what I mean? Like I just feel like the games. So I think 25 could be a really good one, right?
Yeah.
Like, super exciting.
Yes. Well, and I think that like I come back to the fact that like I get what you're saying as far as like there are so many different platforms to be able to consume stuff on. But if you think about it, it's pretty wild. Us who are in this thing, practitioners of that love it, we consume a ridiculous amount of this stuff. How many different videos do you watch each week? Did you hit your knee again?
I've smoked my hand on my desk.
Oh,
hard.
I swear, like once per video, there's at least something that you just smack the shit out of. But anyway, so yes, it is more spread out. However, I return back to the fact that like of all of the humans on the planet currently doing CrossFit and like saying that they're doing it and being in the ecosystem, we have a lot of untapped potential. Crazy. 100%. So those numbers don't feel inaccessible to me in any way. They sound like they're going to require work, but that's fine. That's what we do. You need to play your cards right, but we're playing pretty well right now.
I agree. Did CrossFit open the door for WP to get on board? I think, I mean, it was clear that Dave was open to playing ball. At least he said he was, right? You know, whatever that was. But I don't know. We'll know in the next month, because WFP is either going to change their schedule or they're not, and they're going to draw a line in the sand, because that's quarterfinals weekend. And even, I mean, if you just read it, you have to do quarterfinals to be, you know, and you have to do like not that shitty top 2000, which is pretty digestible. But assuming that Syndicate and TFX have qualifying requirements from quarterfinals, like if it's the same, if it's an invite base, it's like, oh, you got to be top 50 in your region or whatever it is, like how it was this year from the open, then people are going to have to be very good and recovered and fresh for that event, which means that it can't be before, because that means it would have to be 1 week after the open. They'd have to switch, means 1 week after Wodapalooza. So it can't be before. They're going to have to push that event later. And so we'll know, like, we'll know soon. And I think we'll know by the end of October if they're going to play ball or not. So, but that's the only, I mean, that's their only option, because WFP, a watered down WFP looks terrible, but, you know, a theoretical watered down CrossFit, meaning like if 10 of our top 20 took the money, no one would give a shit. Like, we're still here because there's so much more behind it than just a few faces on screen.
I don't know that I have anything to add to that. I'm just not right now. I feel like I'm very much so in an observation state, and I'm getting to have conversations with different people involved at different levels, and just kind of
Claire, that's not how the show works. I need unfiltered, quick, not thought out opinions at all times. I don't think you fucking understand. What are you talking about? We don't.
I don't know. I would be surprised if it was opening the door, but I that's not based on any conversation that I've had with anybody, you know,
Sure.
and I would just be surprised.
Yeah. I think opening doors probably like
but we've been surprised before, so like
Sure.
I don't think it's impossible. I don't see it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. This is way earlier, but Avera said in regards to the Jenna conversation and the marketing that needs to do it, there's no shortcuts to fitness adjacent to GLP-1 commercials. I think that they've already done a bang up job of coming back at it. And yes, I think that more of that would be great.
Yeah. This kind of rolls into this question. Like, you just pair it up. You're like, I'll pay you guys whatever to make sure that we're just on the back end of every Serena Williams commercial.
That'd be hilarious.
Every time that's aired, I want to air ours.
Yeah.
Right behind it.
Yeah.
Granted, that company, Wegovy or whatever she's pushing, Row, right? Is substantially larger than CrossFit, but it would be funny. All right.
Pharma dollars.
Dave's thing, right? I don't know. All right. Someone asked to pull up Dave's specific question at 15 minutes. This one. Here we go. Oh, it's a nutrition-based question. Oh, that'll be.
Oh, let's do it.
I think you're wrong on calories in and calories out.
Probably because you are.
You don't mean that. I don't know though if you mean pull up and like muscle up. Yes, I think that could have been included somewhere. It probably would have balanced it out a little more. But if you're talking like a sled pull or something like that, I don't think that was needed. But understood. At C Dutch 513.
You're here.
I think you're wrong on calories in and calories out. Randomized control trials have shown that it doesn't really matter if it's processed sugar or a single source foods. Calorie restriction will help lose weight. And
you can stop there.
It's probably easier to say full.
I'm just saying that, like, what is the randomized control trial that they're referring to, and how long, like, what is the length of the study? Because yet again, are we talking about like short-term results, or are we talking like over the course of time? How is this going to, like, what is going to happen to you on a hormonal level? And then what is the down chain effect of that? Like, my brain on the floor. Anyway, sorry, carry on.
Full and satiated from a single source food, but it's not required. That I do not think is true at all. And let me show you a little example. So let's say you have 2,000 calories of, well, to your point, processed sugar. That's your daily intake. And then you have 2,000 calories of, let's say, 20% protein and 80% good fat. And let's even say, so 2,000 calories processed sugar, 2,000 calories protein, 80% fat. Let's even do this. Let's say you have 2,000 calories of the protein and you have 1,800 calories daily of the processed sugar. You're basically saying because that amount of calories is less than that amount of calories on this diet, you're going to lose weight. That is what you are saying here. And that is what the calories in, calories out people are fundamentally saying. The problem with that is the hormonal response of these two different hormonal response of these two diets. That diet there, that processed sugar, is going to jack your insulin up, keep it very high, and then basically turn all of that sugar into fat. You're not going to be able to access your fat storage and burn fat. In over here, when you look at the protein and the fat, the protein has an insulin response. The fat largely doesn't. But that diet there is going to be able to keep your insulin levels low. Your glycogen stores will be depleted. You'll be able to then hit your fat reserves and actually burn fat. So, what's your name again? At CDutch513. That is, you're basically saying the randomized control trials have shown that it doesn't really matter if it's processed sugar or single source foods. And look at this. Just no, that's wrong. Calorie restriction will help lose weight and improve metabolic markers. It's more about the hormonal response of the food you're eating than just calorie restriction. And also, calories play a part in it, but it's not just, and the problem I'm saying with the calories in, calories out crew, they say it to a fault. And you even just did that by just saying, if it doesn't really matter if it's processed sugar. You just said you prioritize the quantity over the quality. All of these factors play a part, but the calorie in, calorie out camp just dumbs it down to just that assertion. And it's an oversimplification of really complex processes. So no, I do not. You are not right. At Fit Grandpa.
All right. You're up. I'm listening.
Dave did a great job there. I don't know how much more you want me. I mean, how far you want me to take that, but like it is a lot more complex, you know, and I was actually having a conversation with a guy that's been around for a long time. He is a creator. And we were talking about how in the level 1, I desire more meat on the bone in the nutrition portion of the L1 manual, right? Then he was saying he loves anything with a barbell. And so for him, the simplicity of what's offered in the level 1 on the barbell side of things is something that like leaves more to be desired for him. We just talked last week about how the gymnastics portion, especially the ring muscle up, you felt like you didn't love the way that was conveyed, right? And I'm like, this is we're all like with our own little points here going, I wish there was more. But at the end of the day, there's only so much that you can fit into so many pages, right? And so it was kind of a good conversation to be like, it has done a thorough enough job to introduce you to ideas and then allow you to need to go deeper, to continue to, it's not saying this is all that you need to know to be a master of any one of these things, right? But this is exposure to all of them. Now continue to educate yourself, right? And so that was it was an enjoyable conversation to have. And of course, for me, the big standout being the nutrition portion, just because I feel like what is available there is not super digestible to most people. But that's where at the end of the day, nutrition is not, this nuance that he's referring to, you really want to understand that stuff at a deep level. There's a tremendous amount of effort that you're going to have to put forth to learn what happens when you consume what you consume, and not just today, but what happens in the next decade and the next 2 decades, what kind of impact that's going to have on your body as a whole. I mean, it is a very complex topic. And so not making it so far out of reach that someone can't do something today, and being able to simplify it down into that, like, the 100 words, like it's just a great starting point.
Okay.
I think he did a good job. I think processed food is full of these dangerous things that you don't realize are insidious today if you are not currently having problems. And then the moment that you are having problems, it becomes a very, very nasty thing to need to navigate.
So, okay. So let's just say, because I'm a math guy, so I certainly lean more physics than a lot of people, right? Just from like calorie consumption. But say you eat, your single source foods, right, are well, right? Fruit. Let's just say it's like JR eats fruit and meat, right? Like that's like what he eats. It's like X amount of pounds of meat.
Does he have any dairy? Does he have eggs, dairy?
I would assume he probably has eggs.
I think he does.
Yeah.
I don't know him personally, but anyway, whatever. Okay.
But I don't think he consumes milk. I don't think he consumes milk and cheese. I think it's just like, I think it's like red meat, maybe some eggs and fruit. I think it's like his main. Hold on. Duke's been trying to get in for 20 minutes.
Also, Vicky, real quick. FM, I feel silly that I'm not 100% sure. I think I know what you're saying. I'm now with, let me just pull it up. Vicky, can you say what FM? So I'm making the right. Okay. Okay, cool. Thank you. Do you want to elaborate on your thought and then we'll go back to Vicky's comment?
Yeah, like, so
we'll come back,
so, you know, this is like where I really struggle, and I'm not a nutrition guy, but I really struggle with like reverse dieting. Like, so assuming all quality is good, right? Assuming like quality is like the standard and you're eating well, like you're sourcing well, etc. Like the reverse dieting for people and then they start to lose weight. Like the physics behind it just like blows my mind. I just don't quite understand. I see it happen, right? When like a female has been under eating for years and then, you know, whatever hormonal changes is happening and they can't lose a pound, they start eating 1,000 calories more, 800 calories more a day. You know, maybe they were eating well before, right? Like, so say sourcing doesn't change, right? And then, you know, I just don't, it's just such an interesting thing, you know, and I assume it's all metabolism based. I don't know enough about it. But I just don't understand it. And it's hard for me to like, just be like, oh, you undereat, which is why you don't lose weight, but now you're going to eat more, maybe more balanced. I don't know, more protein, whatever it is. And then now this person's starting to like get really lean and start to lose weight. And I just don't understand it.
And you're saying that their sources of their calories stayed the same. They just increased their calories?
Basically, like, so they ate well, right? And then this is a hypothetical situation.
Yeah. Well, you know, I mean, and this is where, yet again, I hold a very simple certification for nutrition coaching. And I want to be clear that like, I'm not giving specific advice to anybody through talking about this topic here. Sorry. I mean, I want to be clear. But I mean, the human body is like really adaptable, right? And so if you've only been giving it so much and then you give it more, but it loves nutrient dense foods and it'll do a lot of really incredible things with those, right? And so I say nutrient dense foods, like there are so many minerals and vitamins and all these things that are available in these foods that like you give it those tools to deal with and like it's going to it's going to express itself differently. And so there you go. You just gave an example of why calories in, calories out. One example of why it's not thorough enough, right? Of okay, they increased their calories, but then they lost weight, right? So you just said it. But then there's just so much more to it. There's so much more to it. And then so I talk about the vitamins and minerals and things like that available in these real foods. But then you flip it to the other side where you start to do all these foods with these emulsifiers and these you know, obviously the sweeteners and the anti-caking agents and all of these different things that are just these ingredients that our bodies just either don't know what to do with or like is outright damaging, right? You know, and so on a gut microbiome level, like what so many of those things will do to a gut is nasty. I will say, and so these are yet again, this is funny that I'll like preface with these are things that are outside of the CrossFit world, but you know, there's a book, The Metabolic Approach to Cancer, that it maybe is written for cancer, but truly it's so much more than that.
Isn't that a fasting book though? Isn't like the premise of that like fasting and autophagy?
It is so much more. There is a portion of the book that discusses what occurs during fasting, which is fascinating. But it is so much more than that. And so yet again, that's where if you're interested enough that you want to dive really deep, but just talk about debunking so many old ideas when it comes to our health and how we stay well and what foods do for us. In that book, it was suggested the big fat surprise, which is just says why butter, meat, and cheese belong in a healthy diet. Anyway, I'll read that one next because that was recommended there. But it's complex. There's a lot there. It's a lot to try to digest, especially if you are not like in love with it, but I'm telling you, this is where I come back to that personal responsibility side of things, so for us to choose to do CrossFit, like there's this personal responsibility to take care of our health, right? We want to show up and train hard because we know that the benefits of that are so much greater than if we choose not to. Here's the cover to that book. Sorry, the Metabolic Approach to Cancer. The book is not actually there, but anyway. And I believe that the author of this was influenced heavily by Seafried, which influenced Glassman, if I'm correct. Anyway, just resources to go deeper on understanding what happens when we ingest these foods over the course of time and what there's a lot there. I don't know that I said anything conclusive literally at all, but hopefully created some curiosity, because this all started for me with, as far as like level of interest, simply with, I had a general understanding of the macro breakdown to get a result on a body composition front, assuming that you are metabolically well, but that's where I was having that conversation yesterday. And I'm like, but the sad reality is very few people are actually like optimally living at this point, So like, that's actually not most people anyway. And so then we do have to go deeper, because it's not that simple. People are not getting the results that they seek with the simplified option. And so then we do need to dig deeper. And personally, once I did develop a couple of autoimmune diagnoses and so on, that maybe the thing that kicked the hornet's nest was that mold exposure, then it became essential for my quality of life to improve, for me to have to learn what these different ingredients are doing to me on a gut level and so much further beyond that. So anyway, I think it's worth learning about.
Okay.
Did I say anything that made any sense there?
Yeah, of course. I'm just digesting. I don't have a strong opinion.
Start if you want to start somewhere, start learning about sucralose.
Yeah, I mean we for sure.
Like
I have
consumer, it's in everything. I mean, I shouldn't, but it's in many things, and it's right. Yeah. Just look into what it can do. Talk to ChatGPT about it.
Yeah, Larry. So this statement: if you're anything like your son in the way he consumes food, I would say that it's probably a food sourcing issue. Since John eats like a. And
I said I was going to come back to Vicky's comment. Give me just a second, because now I'm looking this up.
Is Splenda sucralose?
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Calories in and out screwed up my body and led me on a path to where I am now with functional medicine and wanting to help people. It's taken 3 years to get my body more in balance, and I still have a ways to go. Yes, Vicky, like I'm so grateful. I'm so sorry about where you got to, and can relate heavily to getting to a place where you are so messed up, and that it is a multi-year journey. And then that's like what she's living right now, is there's still a ways to go. Like I so heavily identify with that. Once you realize, and then you start to pivot and turn the ship, it's a long journey, but what's the alternative? You just keep getting sicker? No, it is. And for many it is, but I don't accept that. And I love that Vicky's not either. And I love that she's using it to help people. That's phenomenal. We need to talk about that more, Vicky.
Vicky's awesome.
Yep.
Okay. All right. Thank you for that.
Yeah, I don't know. You're welcome.
It's good. It's good. I've always ate okay. And once we had Bennett, you just things change, and
sure.
And you just get, I'm just generally more educated and on some of this stuff, it's even small things, right? The effects of, a dryer sheet, right? On skin quality, just all of the conveniences in life. I've always had a really good smelling house. Why? And it's because we had Glade plugins. And I was like, all right, we can't have Glade plugins anymore. You know what I mean? And so
yep.
And God, I wish Bennett would eat some nuggets, even if it's fake protein. I wish he'd get a little bit more protein in.
What does his diet consist of right now? Are you willing to share that?
Yeah. A lot of fruit. I mean, he eats a lot of berries.
Yeah. Well, berries are great.
Yeah, berries are great. And so I've also like learned
Organic
that, like,
berries. Organic
yeah,
berries are great.
we go organic. And we do the spray. You know, we do like a spray wash too. We gotta get all the stuff off. The berry phase isn't that bad. It's fine. You know, I make like this like banana peanut butter egg bar that he eats pretty much every day in some capacity. He just started doing smoothies, so frozen berries in a smoothie. Sometimes we'll put some whey protein in it, and or yogurt. You know,
What whey protein are you using?
I don't know. Whatever's back here, probably not that great. What is
Well,
it?
yeah, I don't know.
Dymatize.
I don't know their ingredients, but I would go straight to their ingredients. Look at what's the sweetener in it.
I don't know. It's probably sucralose. It's really sweet.
Lupe, because you're consuming the skin organic. Yeah. And so there is, you can always go look up to like I think it's like the clean 15 versus the dirty dozen are the common terms, but you can look up as far as like fruits and veg, and the food items that are encouraged to be organic, more important to be than the ones that it's less important to be organic as well. So anyway.
I don't know.
Just because of things like that, like you are consuming the skin. There's sucralose in it.
Yeah, of course.
I told you that's your journey. That's your next thing is just go take a look at what happens when you play that game. What could happen?
Yeah, I know. And then, I mean, you know, like, what else does he eat? I don't know. I mean, we try. He's just not a big consumer. Like, I try and get him to eat. We try and just like, he's starting to eat a little bit more food. Like he does like a avocado toast like once a week, which is great.
Yeah.
You know, and then, I don't know.
Does he like eggs?
It's pretty limited. No, we've tried so hard. I cook eggs in front of him every day, and he's like, "Oh, I want to crack them. Let me eat some." And then like he'd get it on his plate, and then he won't try it.
Have you tried different, like cooking them different ways and getting like even, like going? I know that's annoying, but like boiled egg or scrambled or over meat.
Yeah, we tried all. It's just like he just won't put it to his mouth. When he's eaten eggs before, he's like them. And so it was. But we put it in other things, and we do like we make a muffin, and we throw like sausage in it, you know, or like turkey sausage or something. So we're trying to get him some like animal protein more so, but he still consumes quite a bit of milk morning and night.
Yeah.
You know, so I mean, he still gets
that's awesome.
Decent bit of protein. It's all right. He does okay. I wish he ate more. You know, I wish he ate a little bit more varied, but it is what it is. We're getting there. He's starting to try more things, which is good. What did he try the other day? He tried a piece of bacon, which was nice. So we're you know.
Well, the fact that you're continuing to be curious and you're, you know, I mean, like that's, you can do whatever you want. And that's where, I mean, since we're here and we're talking about our opinions, then that's what we're here doing. But I definitely try to keep my nose out of other people's stuff unless they actually want it. But then that's literally what we're here doing. Bluepay says also sucralose has a million different names. Good luck finding it. Thankfully, it is identifiable a lot of the time. But yeah, all these things do have different names, and over the course of time, they shift them. And you just have to pay attention. You have to be diligent if you want to pay attention. And another little fun fact there that brings up just that anytime that you're doing a granulated packet or whatever of stevia, for example, because stevia and monk fruit are very common sweeteners that are seen as good. And I'm on board with those personally. However, most of the granulated, all of that I have seen are usually either dextrose or erythritol first. And so you buy the packets or you get them at Starbucks or whatever it is. And it's literally on the front of it, it's the green packet and it says stevia. So you're like, cool, yeah. And then you use it. And just fun fact, it's literally not. It gets in there, but it's not the first ingredient. So just the diligence that is required to pay attention because you will be fooled left and right.
Interesting.
Yeah. Anyway, 5 a.m. squat club, gross. Why don't we just eat real food? Fair enough.
Yeah. Yeah, I try to. I mean, my like diet primarily, like we were doing Home Chef and so, you know, which is always like a meat base and generally a veggie, but there's like usually like just, you know, whatever the ingredients that comes with it, not super clean. Cause it's like, you know, comes in a package. You're just like, you know, it's probably something, but it's convenient and it's there. And so, but my day usually consists of eggs, yogurt, sometimes granola, and like whatever meat I just have, and and it's some capacity within those things.
Mhm.
But yeah, it's tough, right? Like it's like I think it's a really hard road. It's a hard road for yourself. I think it's not an impossible road, but a 10 times harder road for you and 2 others,
Totally.
especially like
A child.
a child, right? Or like a wife that I don't want to say isn't health conscious. Parent is very health conscious, but like doesn't have the I don't want to say mental capacity. That's not the right thing. Like the desire to dig that deep.
Sure.
You know what I
Most people
mean?
do not. Yep.
Right. Exactly. And so, it's yeah, but it's coming around.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um,
Well, and I mean, I just love the idea, like for you personally, you do choose everything. Like no one's going to force you to eat anything, right?
Mhm.
And so, like, it requires intentionality. That's the thing. Is it requires, and it does. It absolutely does. Consistent intentionality. It isn't easy, but neither is being a CrossFitter. You know what I mean? Like that's just not we're not the easy road people. And so, yeah, it's not easy. And I am not in your situation where I have to I have to figure out how to navigate the child. So like I don't know what that's like, but I do believe that like if you want it bad enough, and that's where if you want it bad enough, then you do figure out how to make that work for you. And that's everyone else's, journey. But at least for me, I'm like, I'm not, and when I get to that season of life, which I very much look forward to, I'm really looking forward to being intentional in the things that happen there, So anyway, I don't know. I think it's actually like a cool, I think it's fun. Sometimes when traveling, it feels less fun.
right. Sure.
But typically you can kind of find your groove and yeah. Anyway.
Great. Yeah. That
Yeah.
was good talk. Yeah, you'll inevitably come to a head where you have to make a decision you don't want to make food consumption wise, like with a child, right? Like, like those will happen. Like they're just not eating and you're like, well, even if it's shit, it's better than, them withering away or not consuming anything. And then you just, like you're just battling, like you just end up battling this, like, is this the right thing? Am I doing the right thing? Um, is this like what's the best for their long-term outlook in life? It's like, is it better just to get more food in, or they're terrible, they won't eat anything besides, I don't know, whatever it is that they're eating, but that what they're eating is like, processed, and it's just like what they end up consuming. And it's like, are any food better than no food at all? And so like, it's, it's a tough one. It's hard, right? And like you feel like with yourself, like you feel a little bit of guilt, but like it's not that bad. You know what I mean? People can talk their own way out of whatever they want to talk their way out of, but like when it's your kid, it's like it weighs on you so much heavier to like make a decision that probably wasn't the best, but like at the time it's the best decision you could make. And it's a hard one to like work through regularly.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh man, I think it's just an exciting, like it does make me curious. Like, I mean, for example, the reason that I even read the Metabolic Approach to Cancer book, I read it. I'm most of the way through it. I'm not actually all the way through it right now. But is because one of my clients has cancer, and so it's like, okay, I already thankfully am a nerd and a half about like all these things. So what can we be doing on a nutritional and a stress front and all these things to try to support her as best as possible while she walks through this journey? It's been very but anyway, that was kind of pulled that a different direction. For yourself, I don't know. I think I take it back with all of it to like, if you can get quiet with yourself long enough, like you'll come up with answers, like if you can, your intuition will know which direction you should go if you can just be still with it long enough.
Yep. Oh, for sure. 100%.
Yeah. Megan, and by the way, let's see. Sorry, comments.
We're talking to each other.
I know. Larry said, I do love learning from these discussions, but I'm a skeptic. And so then he's just talking
about protein consumption. He's not even thinking about anything else. He thinks you don't need to eat body weight and protein. as someone, which is interesting as someone who squats 500 pounds, which is Larry, which is crazy.
That's so awesome.
Yeah.
Congratulations on that. That's a huge feat.
Yeah.
And
At like 57 years old.
Yeah, that's crazy. Dang, that's cool.
He's such a savage.
Yeah. Yeah, that's awesome.
John's dad. Obviously, it makes sense.
Oh, that's John's dad?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, cool. Okay. The lens that you're looking through matters. If Larry's looking at it through the lens of I eat to perform so that I can squat 500 plus pounds at this age, like that's my North Star of why I eat what I eat is for this specific performance goal. Your behaviors will be in alignment with that probably. And so it depends on the lens that you're looking through. When I'm talking about this topic in particular, I'm thinking through the lens of long-term health, which then totally takes you away from what you would optimize for if you were simply optimizing for performance.
Right.
Totally. Megan said, "What's the book?" And I did pick up the cover because the book is in the other room. But here it is. The Metabolic Approach to Cancer is the one I'm referring to. By Nasha Winters. Anyway. Okay. There is a funny thing about WODprep SoCal, by the way. I know we talked about it earlier. There's one other thing. Do you want to go back there?
Yeah, I got 5 minutes.
Okay, sorry. I didn't even realize this much time has passed. This is what happens when you get me on this topic. Sorry. Well, I don't know. It was crazy to me. And I don't know, did you know that right after, like, could you see that after the sprint event that Dallin and Guy did, was there any footage of Dallin vomiting on the floor?
No, the last footage was Bella's interview where he was like, "What do you think?
I can't get comfortable.
Walked it back.
I'm gonna lay down."
Did he throw up right after that? Everywhere?
No.
Yeah. Oh.
No. And so I'm just like watching this out on the floor and I'm like, how many people am I seeing what I think I'm seeing? And so I've not spoken to, assuming my eyes did not deceive me, and I do have video of it and I've watched it back. And I think that's what happened. So like Jason opens up the red bag that's like full of ice, right? Just opens it and dumps the ice out and then tosses it down. Dallin's on the floor. And then Jason heads off a different direction. I think he's going for help for Dallin in some way. Like he's fine. He just hurt himself in a workout,
Sure.
And not anyway. And then he's just got the bag up to his mouth and just there's air going into it. And I'm not sure what else. And I'm just like videoing it. I'm like, I think he's throwing, like, being able to push yourself that hard in a workout is just so wild to me. Yeah. Anyway, I don't know. I just was watching it. I was like, is anybody else seeing this? Like, he's right there. It was crazy.
That's funny. Yeah, it was it was cool. It was cool to watch. And
I met his wife and she's freaking awesome. Anyway.
Yeah. Cool. Jason helping feels like my Tyler helping with a boo-boo. That's fucking so accurate. It's like he's trying, but he's probably making the situation worse. Like at all accounts. It's like I'll start working on something in the garage and then it's like I read something a long time. I listened to a reel a long time ago, like before I had Bennett. It was but when Bennett helps, like everything gets harder. Nothing's easier. It's worse.
Yeah, right.
Worse is not the right term, but like whatever I'm trying to accomplish is less effective.
Yeah.
Whatever it is.
Sure.
Going to the store, mowing the lawn. Like, so I kept Bennett home last week, Thursday and Friday.
He was a little under the weather.
No, he had this fucking limp. We think he had what's called transient synovitis. So we think he had a viral infection. And so like in toddlers, the infection can travel to a joint and it can make them limp for like 72 to 96 hours. It's the craziest thing. And I was like, I've never, like, the only reason we knew that was because his cousin had it. He had like a really bad cough and like got some meds. And then like 2 days later, like he literally couldn't stand for like 2 days. And I was like, what? And they're like, oh yeah, this is this thing. It happens in toddlers. And I was like, the craziest thing I've never experienced.
That is crazy.
So weird. It doesn't happen in adults. Anyway, so we think he had that because he kind of had a cough. And then all of a sudden he like was fine. And they said he fell on the playground. And then I guess it is like Bell's palsy. That makes sense. That's interesting. And then we were like at home, and then all of a sudden he like couldn't run. He's like, Dad, I can't run. And like his left leg just like did not work for a day and a half.
Wow.
Very nerve-wracking. And of
Yeah,
course,
that is.
my mind only goes to like muscular dystrophy. Like I'm just so afraid of like, even though it doesn't run anywhere, it's very, 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 very unlikely.
Yeah.
Like I'm always, that's like one of my number one fears of like that or like a childhood based cancer. Anyways, I'm not talking about my anxiety issues. So, so to mow the lawn, he was home and he was fine. So we were outside and he wanted to push the lawnmower. Well, he can't push the lawnmower at all. So what do? I carried him the entire time mowing the lawn on my shoulders. The entire time. I don't have a big yard, but it's big enough. So like you just get to watch over the fence line.
But he's helping, Dad.
But yeah, and he just like sat on my shoulders to mow the lawn. So anyways, what we were going back to the hopper thing. I can see that, but I read something a long time ago, or I watched something, and it was like, maybe, like children helping doesn't make it easier, but what it's most likely doing is it's bringing you down to earth, right? And like maybe the goal and the more important thing is that you're slowing down and not just accomplishing the task. And I was like, okay, fine. And I like every time that I'm like, fuck, you're annoying right now.
Yeah.
You know, I'm like in the garage, we'll clean the garage, and he likes to get on my little step ladder and he takes all of my screwdrivers, which I have a ridiculous amount of, like 30, right? And he puts them on the tray, you know, like you climb, there's like a tray on the ladder. He puts them all on the tray every single day. I'm like, no, I got to clean it up. And so it's like, maybe what they're doing is they are helping you finish the task, but they're just helping you do the task like with intention and purpose instead of the end goal, right? Which is what we do everything, right? Like if the goal is always the end goal, that's never good. You have to enjoy the process, right? So it's improving the process,
Yeah,
slowing it down on purpose. And that's probably why they're bringing more value to the situation than actually helping you, right? Especially when they're little. So
that's awesome. Well, and he's feeling better. His limp is gone. He's okay.
Yeah. He's fine.
Cool.
Yeah, it was fine by the end of Friday. And he always like toe walks some. We have to like correct him on it. But like he couldn't, like if he toe walked, so we didn't know if it was his foot or his hip or knee, and he kind of had like a really big cut on his foot. And I was like, oh no, is it infected? Right. But like you couldn't really tell. Like, and he doesn't show pain really well, like at all. Like he doesn't cry when he falls or if he gets cut or he bleeds. Really nothing. The only time like is just when he gets really nervous.
Mhm.
Like if he falls and like he gets really scared, right? Or if it's like a really big one, but he usually doesn't cry. And so then I was really nervous. I'm like, oh my gosh, is this something, like because he doesn't have like a really high pain response to things that other kids have a pain response to? We're like, okay, what do we do? Do we need to go to the doctor? Like, do we need to get a, like a viral test to see if that's what he has? And then my mind goes everywhere, right?
Yeah.
Everywhere,
I don't like
and
that.
so
Yeah.
it's the worst.
Yeah.
So anyways, but he is fine. He seems
Cool.
Sleeping well, never had a fever or anything like that too. So
Good.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh yeah, of course. I mean, I let him do everything. Like if I'm working on something and, like he likes to play on the truck and he likes to like fix the truck, right? Which is just open up the gas tank. The gas tank. He's like, I'm filling up with gas, Dad. I'm like, perfect, buddy. Keep doing that. Yeah. Yeah. Then after like 37 slams, I'm like, all right, let's not break my door. Okay, please.
Oh my gosh.
So yeah. Yeah, we have to regularly remind him to like walk on your feet, which obviously doesn't make any sense, but to him it does. Like he puts his feet flat. Because he does it when he gets really excited. He goes,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is cute, but yeah, then you do.
Yeah. But I mean, when we run and stuff, like he's not a toe walker. He just prefers to like try to toe walk when he's like pittering around the house.
Yeah.
And so anyways, yeah. Or like yesterday, I was doing double unders, and they came outside, and like you can work out around kids. It's really hard to do CrossFit around kids because everything's dynamic and things are dropping and all that kind of shit.
Yep.
And so Perrin walked outside with him because I was doing squat cleans. And so the bar was dropping every rep, right? And so they came outside to watch, and he wanted to do double under. So in between, he would like walk up to me, and Perrin would have to grab him and pull him back because like obviously like steel rope definitely like take out
Right.
some skin. And so, but in between, I was doing like bench press, double unders, and squat cleans. And so in between, he would like jump with the rope, right? And obviously he can't do it. He can't jump rope. It's obviously way too long and all the things, but he tried really hard. He really,
Yeah.
it was funny.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's fun.
That's the best part. And we run around the neighborhood every night, at least once.
And he runs with you.
He tries to run, and then we stop, and we just walk around the neighborhood. But Bennett doesn't walk places like ever. He just runs constantly. He's either standing still, playing, engaged. But if he moves from like he's like a young puppy, right?
Yeah.
Like a puppy will like be engaged in the moment, and then if you like move rooms, like they run to the next place.
Yeah.
That's how Bennett is. Bennett, like all the teachers and parents are like, he's the runner. Like he's just now getting to the point where like they can, because they line up and they stand in line. And so he's like just starting to like do that, and he follows directions pretty well from adults. But like when we're here in the house or running around or being outside, like there is no like walking to the next, modality of life or play thing. It's just he runs to whatever it is.
Oh, I love it.
Yeah. And this is what I say. It's like, and the kid still sleeps, 13 to 16 hours every day. But if he is awake,
He's going
all gas, no brakes, 100%. Yep. And so, yeah. So usually, all boy. So parent says all boy. I say all gas, no brakes. He's all boy for sure. We're just starting to wrestle, which I love, because I wasn't allowed to wrestle him early because he's so much bigger than his peers because he's older. And so we're just now getting to the point where like we only wrestle, and he goes, dad, and I'm like, and I tickle him. It's the best.
I love it.
Yep. So,
that's
all
awesome.
Right. We're late. I'm gonna be late for school. So
okay.
That was good. That was a good show.
Yeah. We went a few different directions for sure.
Yeah, it was good.
But I want to say real quick that I feel abundantly grateful that I got to be a part of WZA SoCal. So that's all. It was such a special experience on a personal level. And so for so many reasons. And so anyway, that's the recap. It was fantastic.
Cool. Yeah.
That's all.
Awesome. I love it. Thanks for coming on.
Yeah. Yep. Judy says, what's next, Claire? You need to go. So what's next is this weekend, Pensacola Beach Brawl.
Oh yeah, that is this weekend. I see you 2 weekends in a row.
Yeah, you see me this weekend. And
oh yeah, are we going to try and do something on Friday? I don't know if we'll be able to. I don't think I can I don't have any equipment, and I'm not going to ask Carlos.
Okay, I will say I think that I'm going to be hectic. So
on Friday too.
Yeah, I don't even know. Yeah, I don't. We'll talk more about it later.
Yeah.
Yep.
Cool.
Right.
If
we're both available and you want to, then obviously I'm perfectly happy to. And I have no idea. But yeah.
I think I'm fairly confident that we have like family plans all weekend too. I'm going to try and get out to Beach Brawl at some point. Cool. Friday I have calls throughout the middle of the day. Anyways, so I won't make it Friday. All right, we'll chat soon.
CrossFit.
Yeah, butt chugging sucralose. That sounds like the most ideal thing. All right, say bye on that note.